What's up, everybody? I'm Josh.
I'm Trevor.
And welcome to
The
Hedwigs
Hedwigs
Army.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning into this episode of Hedwigs Army.
If you're a new listener, welcome.
And if you're a returning listener, welcome back.
This week, we're going to be discussing Horcruxes.
Heck yeah.
Yes, and more importantly, why are they good? Now, that may seem strange to some people because you don't normally think of Horcruxes as good.
Yeah, because they're really not, though.
But that's what we're going to be discovering is there any way for them to be good?
I actually found something, but I'm going to let you talk first.
Well, we're both going to talk because I'm going to start us off the way we always start this off, is with our opinion. So I'm going to go first.
All right.
Okay. I'm a believer that I guess the word good isn't the right phrase, but I think there's a way to utilize them for the greater side, or the light. I don't know the way to say it. Not good, but like for the
yeah, you don't want to be
for
using
the positive side in a positive way. So like I don't want to say they're good because the way to make them is not good, but there's a difference between being good and fighting for the right side. You know what I mean? Like Fudge wasn't good, but he was on the right side. He was on the side of not evil, but good. That's what I'm saying. What's the word? So
see, that's I don't know.
So I think there is a way.
See, I was of the mind before I started doing my research that I was leaning more towards a no, only because typically what we think of a Horcrux is something that you like. There's two parts to it, right? There's the part that we know that you have to split your soul. There's no way about making a Horcrux without splitting your soul. The other part we don't really know, right? It's been hinted that it's pretty messed up. Right. So, like in my eyes,
is why I don't know necessarily if it is. If I'm like there's a chance it is though, because we don't know what that side is. But go ahead.
Oh yeah, but like when I think thinking on those two things, I very highly doubt. So I'm not saying somebody couldn't make it, right? Say Dumbledore wanted to make a Horcrux. Granted, he'd have to go kill somebody, assuming he uses traditional methods. I found one way where it doesn't involve murder, possibly.
I think murder is the easiest part to get past, to be honest. I'll tell you why, but I think it's the easiest part. I don't think that's the problem. I think the other things we don't know is the hardest part I have to prove, but I think I can do it.
Because I've heard things like people have speculated what this thing that J.K. Rowling literally couldn't put in the books because her editor was like, yeah, no, that's gross. Please don't ever, no, that shouldn't be repeated.
Yeah, and if you don't know them, we're going to, spoiler alert, I guess, if you for you who don't know this theory, but it's said to be cannibalism.
Yeah, I was about to go there, yeah.
Yeah. So you have to eat some, which, after doing some research, I don't know if it was quite that, because they say they have to, well, I guess. But I think it's more intense than that. But yeah, cannibalism is like the sad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a little more than that.
If it is cannibalism, combined with the fact that you have to murder somebody, I'm not saying it can't be done, but you would have to be legit the purest of heart to do that and not be so changed that you couldn't, morally, you were still straight as an arrow and not hey, I'm starting to, like a gray Jedi, but a gray Jedi who is more like Mace Windu, where he's holding just by a thread. Yeah. And if you screw up, you lose yourself.
Okay, you lost me.
Okay, Mace Windu.
But I don't care. Anyway,
he uses the light and the dark side.
Okay, but I get that, but I don't know anything about that Star Wars stuff.
Oh, well, it's more or less that he's riding a fine line, trying to tap into the dark side without succumbing to it, which is kind of what I'm going with, because to make a traditional Horcrux is extremely dark magic. So you would have to walk that line.
Yeah, but so is Crucio, and Harry uses that.
Yeah,
And so
but
is,
I mean, he doesn't
so
really
is,
come unscathed, I would argue, but...
So is the other one I'm forgetting the name of.
Imperio?
Imperio, and he uses that. I'm just saying. So is Sickness Supper, and he uses that. Anyways, going forward.
Yeah, but see, that changed him. Like, he was like, I will never use that again.
Yeah. So, okay. I don't want to get into it because this is a whole different argument for a different episode that we plan on doing. So let's save it for that episode. But here's the thing, okay? So when it comes to Horcruxes, I don't think it's cannibalism. And here's why I don't think it's cannibalism. I don't know what it is, but here's why I don't think it's cannibalism. Because J.K. Rowling has put in no less than Wormtail chopping his own hand off, werewolves eating people,
Yeah.
Buckbeak getting his head cut off. You think cannibalism is too much?
That's heavily implied.
It happens. I mean, that's why they go back in time to save Buckbeak's life.
But that's a whole different argument because that's time travel, and time travel
I'm just saying.
really messy.
But, like, implied or not, or real or not, it was implied, and that's what happened.
Heavily implied.
So you're going to think that cannibalism is too much to eat another person when you have people being eaten already by werewolves?
So I have another
think
theory.
It's too much. And to make somebody gag, like, I don't know, cannibalism is gross, but it's not that bad. Like, in terms of other things already in the series.
See, I can think of a couple other things that could be that thing.
Yeah, just be careful. Let's keep it a little PG, you know? It's not PG, but let's keep it there.
But I'm pretty sure you guys can get where I'm going with this without me saying it.
Right, I think it has to be do something with drinking blood, because we know blood
I wasn't going that way.
I'm saying, because we know blood, though, is part of, or maybe like ingesting the heart or something, because we know blood has magical properties to it. It has magical blood and stuff. So I think it might have something to do with that, but I don't know. Anyways, we can't. Let's not get too much into it.
That'd be a great segue into the stuff that I have.
Let's not get too much into it, because while it could defute my thoughts, depending on what it is, we don't know what it is. Let's go with cannibalism, because that's what people imply it to be.
Yeah.
So people think it is.
That's the most commonly
theorize
accepted.
it to me. I mean,
that's the most.
So my theory is not too bad for that. That act is not too bad for my opinion here. So that's what I'm basing it off of. If we ever find out, my opinion might change.
Else, I don't know.
What?
But you're eating somebody else.
Okay, but werewolves eat other people. I mean, yes, they're bad, but I'm saying, like if Lupin were to accidentally eat somebody when he turned a werewolf, would you want him to feel bad about it, really? Or would you be like, dude, like, it wasn't your fault?
Yeah, but see, when you make a Horcrux, you're making that decision to eat some
I guess.
person.
But depending on what you're using it for. Lots of bad things happen for the good. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying that it's something that should be done. I'm not saying you're a saint for doing it. I'm saying when you're fighting for the good side, quote unquote, for your side,
you would
against Voldemort, the worst of the worst. The ends justify the means. Thank you. That's what I'm getting at. So let's move on.
I'm gonna say no, but I do have a workaround for that.
So, let's get into... I have a couple things here I want to jump into, but let's first get into why our opinion... why we think our opinions. Any facts that we have? I have some facts and try to back it up. My own thoughts.
Oh.
What?
I like mine. I wanted to wait. But we can...
You wanted to wait?
To talk about, the theory.
What do you mean you wanted to wait, though?
Well, because you had this stuff.
I know, but some of this is, not really...
Oh, okay.
Some of it is better for after. Really have to do with what I'm getting at. We've already started.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, so... Let's use perspectives here, okay? Because it's hard... When you're looking at the situation full on, it looks bad. Using a Horcrux. Let's say the Ministry of Magic. Or let's say Harry Potter. Okay? Harry Potter creates a Horcrux. Now, when you think of it like that, you're thinking, why would he do that? He's so good. And that's such a terrible thing. Why? Nobody that good to create a Horcrux. But let's think of positives of creating a Horcrux for a minute. Okay?
You can't die unless somebody destroys it.
You can't die unless somebody destroys it. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's really the only thing. Well, that's what a Horcrux does. But why could that be positive? First of all, he needs to defeat Voldemort. Okay? Number one, if he goes, then Voldemort wins. In theory, in like according to the prophecy.
Okay.
He's the only one that can defeat Voldemort. So if he dies, Voldemort wins.
Question.
What?
And I don't mean to try to like defeat it so early on, but if
I mean, you're not going to defeat it so early on, but yeah.
I lost my train of thought.
Okay.
I'll come back with it.
So
I'll interrupt you when I.
So that's number one is defeating Voldemort. Okay.
Oh, that's no, I got it back. Sorry.
Go ahead.
We saw with Voldemort that when he lost his body, it took him considerable amount of time to get his body back.
Because nobody knew he was at Horcruxes. If people had known he had Horcruxes, they could have helped him.
Yeah, but then like also
think about once they found out he was still alive, how quickly. Like in like maybe it didn't seem quick because it was book 1 to book 4.
In the grand scheme of things, yes, it was quick.
But he also had no followers that knew about it, except for Wormtail, who only knew about it because he was a rat. But he was also skittery. He only did it because they found out he was a rat. So think about book 3 to the end of book 4, a year for his revival.
Okay.
Once somebody knew about it and sought after him.
Speaking of the revival. So, we've already made a Horcrux, right? We've cannibalized, we've murdered somebody. To create some Horcrux.
Theory.
I'm saying, to create the...
You murdered somebody and you might have cannibalized them, in theory.
You at least killed somebody with the intent to make a Horcrux. So, premeditated murder. And then you add the ritual that brought him back, unless there's another ritual to bring you back, but we don't really, like, as far as I've seen... At least in the book.
We don't know the ritual. The ritual that he did is different. That wasn't bringing back a Horcrux. That was bringing back his body.
Right, but like, so for him to do anything to affect anything other than possessing people, like, we're assuming that, like, you know, like in that case, Harry comes back. Harry has to get a physical body. So we would have to go to...
we don't know if there's not another ritual, but I get what you're saying.
Right, I'm saying, assuming we're going with the rituals we've been shown. Like, you would also then have to have somebody that's close to you that you could, like, the hand of the servant, or the flesh of the servant, the blood of the person that is your enemy, and then, like, also have somebody dig up a grave. You would have, like, you add all that other stuff onto it. It's like,
I don't know,
really hard.
But I don't think it's that specific. I think that's just the way they did it. Because what if you're an evil guy but you don't have a servant? You know what I mean? So you're automatically can't come back. Like, I don't think it's that.
I don't know if you can, like, because, like...
I'm going to see if I can look it up. But go ahead.
Because Voldemort, he doesn't technically die. He still exists. It's a half-life. Is the best way to put it. Like, he's there, but he's not really there. So, like, if anything, the ritual was to bring back a body. So, assuming that, like, that ritual is the way to bring back a body, I don't know. For me, it's like, you already decided you wanted to kill somebody for whatever reason. That reason being you wanted to create a Horcrux, which is a little messed up. But then you also, take this, like, I have to cut somebody's hand off, I have to do this, on top of possibly cannibalizing somebody. I mean, at that point, you really wouldn't care. But then it begs the question, like, morally, would that change you? And I'm of the mind of, like, that would change you as a person. Most people that would change them. Because I've always thought of, like, when you murder somebody, that's a line that once you cross, it is extremely hard to come back from. So you've already crossed that line. What's to say you wouldn't do other things that wouldn't be morally good?
Okay, but murder... Okay, here's why... Okay, let's jump into this. Here's why murder doesn't end it for me. Because you're going to tell me no Aurors have ever killed a Death Eater? Ever? They're fighting for good. They're doing it to defend themselves and defend wizards. So if you kill somebody in self-defense...
Yeah, but, like, the way I understand the whole murder thing is you're
murdering I get
with
that.
the intent to murder that
person.
person.
I get that. But, like, let's say...
It's like Tonks going up to somebody and going...
Now, ends justify the means. Okay, you're Harry Potter. You know you're the one that has to defeat Voldemort. Everybody knows it. So you decide on your own that you're going to make a Horcrux. Okay. Do you feel like the best way... Let's put it this way. Let's say Dumbledore told Harry that Voldemort.
We're talking about a traditional Horcrux because I have something that's technically not traditional.
Yeah, okay, so yeah, traditional Horcrux, Horcrux, the way we know it. So, hey, let's say Dumbledore tells Harry that he's Voldemort's Horcrux, and he has to die for the Horcrux inside him to die. So let's say he's like, fine, I know another way to do this to live. So let's create a Horcrux for me so I can survive it. I'll die, but I won't really die. My body will be dead, so the Horcrux inside my body will be dead, and my soul will live on.
Yeah.
So he creates the Horcrux. He decides that because of that. Now, he decides there's no other option, and he has to be willing to defeat Voldemort. So he's doing it for good. He's not doing it because he wants to have everlasting life. He's doing it because he needs to defeat Voldemort, but he has to die to defeat Voldemort. Obviously, we know the workaround, but nobody was 100% sure of that until it happened. So he creates Horcrux. Now, let's say he goes to Azkaban. Somebody's in Azkaban for life, or they're sentenced to death, and they're gonna be, or not death. They're sentenced to the kiss. Yeah. And he just kills them. Like, yes, that's really dramatic, but they're gonna be sucked. Their souls will be sucked anyway. You might be doing them a justice and a favor by not making them live that long. But you're killing somebody that has no life future ahead of them anyway. Ends justify the means. You're doing it for the good. Do you still see Harry Potter, if he does all that, as evil? Do you see him as bad, or do you still see him as he's fighting for the good side? He's doing this. He's taking a life that has no value, and so that he can give up his life without. But he can't really give up his life because he has to defeat Voldemort.
I get where you're coming from. It's not that I see him as
and then
evil.
He cannibalizes him afterwards because.
I just see him more as like, after you cross that line, I don't know. It's not so much evil.
I mean, it's destroyed your innocence.
I would see him as different. But
that's what I'm saying, okay?
No, he's not completely evil.
But that's what I'm saying. Evil. Is that really different from killing somebody in self-defense? Either way, you're killing somebody. That's what I'm saying. In terms of crossing a line, you're still murdering somebody. You're still killing somebody.
Right, but it's the intent. At least for me, that matters.
Okay, but the intent is to defeat Voldemort. The intent is to defeat Voldemort, and in doing so, you have to kill one of his servants that chose to serve him and chose to kill innocent people.
I understand that, but I'm saying, like, for the intent behind the kill. Like, if it's self-defense, you were left no other option.
Fine. Let's say this.
That's like the difference between manslaughter and murder.
Let's say this.
Manslaughter, you didn't mean to kill that person.
Okay, let's say this. Let's say Harry tracks down Voldemort for killing his parents and so many other people after he defeated all the Horcruxes, and he Avada Kedavra and kills Voldemort. He doesn't, but let's say he did, because he would be justified to do so. He's too good to do that, but he did that. Would you say he's justified in doing that? Even though his intent is to murder somebody. I'm just...
no, I understand what you're saying.
It's the same. It's very similar. It doesn't say anything, but it's very similar. The intent's the same. You want to kill somebody to save other people.
This goes back to the Dumbledore thing. But
what Dumbledore thing?
The one we had last week.
How? I'm curious. If you haven't listened to last week, go do so. It's very good. We get very intense.
Yes, we do. But no, how Dumbledore is essentially using Harry for the greater good. That has
nothing to do with Harry, though. That has nothing to do with this.
Well, he's like this whole raising him for slaughter kind of thing.
Right, but that has nothing to do with what I just said.
No, but I'm saying like the intent. They're like, okay, you're going to kill him because you're justified to.
Wait, which intent are you talking about?
Like Harry's intent to kill...
Voldemort or the Death Eater? No, Harry's intent to kill Voldemort came from Voldemort murdering his parents. You know what I mean?
No, I understand.
Like I'm saying, let's say
revenge is okay. Any way you achieve revenge is okay.
No, I'm saying some revenge is okay, but I'm saying it depends on if you're just killing somebody to wipe them off the earth because you don't like them. That's different than killing somebody to stop other people from dying, and because they don't have any like human. What's the word I'm looking for? They don't care about other people at all. They don't. There's a word for it, but like they don't care about killing people. Nobody's safe around this person. So you're killing him to save thousands of innocent lives. And he's evil. He deserves it. He wouldn't think twice about killing you.
You're talking about Voldemort, yes.
Yes. Okay. But also, it's a little different, but this Death Eater too, I'm sure you could find one that's killed multiple people. Like, no, he's not a threat because he's in Azkaban, but if he wasn't in Azkaban, he'd continue killing. Let's say Bellatrix. You capture Bellatrix. Or...
Why don't you just torture him into insanity?
Dolohov. You capture Dolohov. He killed Fred. You capture Dolohov, okay?
Torture him into insanity. Fate worse than death.
Okay, but you have to kill him to do the Horcrux, I'm saying.
Oh.
Okay, but you're torturing him into insanity, but you won't kill him. Like, they're the same shit. Either way, you're taking away a life.
No, he's still living. He just doesn't have...
You're taking away a life, though. I'm saying. The Dementor's kiss, you're still living, but you're not alive. But, okay, but do you understand where I'm coming from with the death part?
Yeah, no, I understand where you're coming from.
I get what you're saying, intent.
I'm saying that, like, I would personally disagree
okay.
with justifying me killing, whether it be somebody who's committed crimes or whatnot. Like, I'm saying for me personally, the ends don't justify the means in that sense. Like, I'm going to dirty my own soul so that I can defeat somebody who has a dirtier soul.
Okay, so just then, real quick, and if you don't agree with me after this, then fine. But I feel like you're talking from an outside perspective. Put yourself in the situation. Let's say you're not even Harry, or Dumbledore. Let's say you are an outsider. Okay, that doesn't really work. Let's say you're in a situation. Let's say you're one of the people that Voldemort's going to kill. You're on his hit list to be dead, okay? Now, you know the only way for him to die is for all the Horcruxes to be destroyed and for Harry to kill him. It's the only person that will be able to kill him. Mm. Okay? That's what they believe. And belief is 9/10 of reality. If you believe something, it's true in your mind, so it's reality to you. So you believe that Harry Potter's the only person that could kill him. Okay?
I like that quote.
Thank you. I just made it up right now. But
I'm assuming you took 9/10 of the law and just added belief in it.
Yeah, basically. But I feel like that's true too. But anyways, so you believe Harry's the only person that could kill him. Mm. So you know that Harry's super outmatched and he's not as lucky as he is in the books. So you're like they're like, okay, well look, our options is Harry has to die to destroy Horcrux. If he dies though, Voldemort will kill you. So we'll give you the decision. Does Harry die, or does Harry try to fight Voldemort and have a 50%, let's say it's fine, 50% chance of dying, or 50% chance of defeating Voldemort? Actually, with the odds against him, let's say it's 70-30, because the odds against him, there was not 50-50.
Right.
So let's say you have a 70% chance of Harry dying and you dying, or a 30% chance of Harry defeating Voldemort and you living. Or Harry, you can have a 100% chance that Harry, or 80% chance that Harry defeats Voldemort if Harry makes a Horcrux. Okay? Now, let's say, but Harry, because you're the person involved, Harry says you have to make the decision if you think he's justified in killing somebody in Azkaban that has no future, that has killed many people and supported Voldemort to this day, and would gladly get out and kill alongside of him. But they're about to get the Dementor kiss anyway. So if he kills him and creates a Horcrux, you have an 80% chance instead of a 30% chance of living. Do you accept?
I'm going to say Dementor's kiss still.
Alright, then die. Fine. Whatever. Then you're dead. And this is why I'll survive in these situations, guys.
Although...
You have a 30% chance of living. I don't believe you, but it's fine. I mean, I do believe you, but I can't simulate the scenario, but I'm saying...
You want to hear my alternative just said?
Okay, but there's no alternative, though. In my situation, there is no alternative.
There is.
But in my situation, just what you're presented, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, there's still...
And you still would say, don't kill the guy, don't create the Horcrux. I don't justify it, I'd rather die than to kill somebody that's going to get out and kill anyway if he doesn't die.
If he can get out, yeah.
Okay, fine. Then y'all make your decisions because I think he's insane. I'm going to take the 80% chance and take somebody's life that doesn't... not only somebody that's not going to have a future, but somebody that has destroyed other people's futures and deserves it anyway. But... So I feel like you're... I don't want to get into that argument on recording. Never mind. We'll talk about it after. Well, go ahead. Let's hear your alternative.
Okay, so I was reading on a site, I'm assuming you guys know of this, MuggleNet, and they had a really interesting topic. They said that Lily's the love sacrifice, wouldn't that work the same way as a Horcrux? Because it saves Harry. They essentially make a comparison that
yes and no.
They're two sides of the same coin, in that they both achieve this goal. Just one you sacrifice yourself to give to other people, and one you sacrifice somebody to gain something from them.
I would say yes and no. I want to hear your opinion, but I think I know your opinion, obviously. But I want to hear your opinion, but I think yes and no.
Okay, because they brought up. Let me get my notes because I don't remember it all off the top of my head. I think that's where, because my opinion in the beginning, I don't know if I actually got to say the maybe part. It was no maybe, and the maybe was more leaning towards this. If you sacrifice yourself to offer somebody else a protection, you go down for the cause, offering somebody else protection, giving them enough time to be hey, I got this. So that comes into the whole, would I rather kill somebody, granted they've killed other people, or would I rather be screw it, I'll die for the cause, okay, give Harry protection.
I can tell you why that's not going to work right now, but I'll let you finish.
Why is it not going to work?
You've already failed. Because the moment you're doing it for a reason, you're not doing it selflessly. The moment you're doing it for a cause, it no longer works. You have to be sacrificing yourself with the intent, with knowing that, believing in your heart that it might not even, that you're doing it to save this person's life, not for a reason, just out of love, I guess, for that person, not so that they can live just to fight another day.
Okay. Well, okay, so let's assume that you do something, because I get your point. If I didn't know and I ended up dying, but it worked. I'm saying if this situation worked.
Yeah, if it worked, but also nobody would really know either nobody would really know if it worked or not until somebody tried to kill you and you survived it.
Right. I do think there's downsides to using the alternative.
It only works against the person
who
killed them.
Right. It has downsides.
I mean, yes. I don't even think it's near the same, but yeah. I get where you're coming from, and it is a good theorized alternative, but it has a lot of negative effects on it.
They did mention that they're well, what about Harry's death scene kind of deal? And they're let me pull this up real quick. That sorry I'm taking so long. It's essentially he died, but what if he didn't die? But if he doesn't die, then how does he offer protection to the rest of the school? And I found a workaround on that one. While I was thinking about it, I was what if
protection? But yeah.
What if the Horcrux in him takes the killing curse? It kills it, but then if he dies, then he's used maybe he offers his half of the protection that he had, because Voldemort has not half of his blood, but he has a portion of the protection that Lily offered him by making herself a martyr. Then, if Harry offers himself as a martyr, to well, how does that work? And I was thinking, well, what if he gives his portion to basically everybody else? Obviously, it's not the full protection, which is why none of them would survive probably a killing curse at them. But the curses were deflected,
right?
But also because
the curses didn't hold. Yeah.
Right, but if it's assumed that they're similar, that they're kind of Horcruxy, that it's the quote unquote better version of a Horcrux, in the sense that you don't have to kill somebody to make it. You would kill yourself to make it, which kind of defeats the purpose.
I really don't. I don't like this because I think it's way I get where they're coming from and the points they're trying to make. But I feel it's really, really stretching out the idea of a Horcrux. You're no longer talking about a Horcrux, you're talking about beating death. It's not the alternative of a Horcrux, it's the alternative of beating death. But isn't
that the point of a Horcrux, though?
Yes, but it's I'm saying like a Horcrux though splits your soul so that you can't die. This, it's like yes, you can't die.
Well, because they also mentioned like that certain spells.
I mean, I don't even.
You have
the
like,
hard part is I don't like the Lily's blood thing. It makes zero sense to me, and I don't want to get too much into it. But trying to use the love thing to justify anything like that, it really grinds my gears. Oh, that makes me sick. It really grinds my gears. Let me just say, here's the biggest thing. I'm not going to get into it right now. Maybe we'll talk about it in another episode. But here's the biggest thing I can't stand about the Lily love sacrifice. Is it defeated Voldemort twice because it killed him, but it also defeated Quirrell. Voldemort found a workaround by taking Harry's blood, which worked in Book 4 because his Crucio held. If Book 7, it's either contradictory to Book 4 or it just doesn't make sense because when Harry sacrificed himself, quote unquote, and the school gained that same protection Harry did, that means the curses couldn't hold. That means none of the curses he did to them could hold. Meaning, if in logic, if it wasn't really working, because that's what they say is, oh, he couldn't kill Harry in Book 7 because of the love was still alive in him. Well, you're saying he can't kill him because of the love.
Well, okay.
And the curses don't hold because of the love in Book 7, but in Book 4, the curse holds.
The MuggleNet, they actually pointed that out, and they said that, because they referenced certain types of...
Sorry, go ahead.
They referenced certain types of spells, like the Unforgivable Curses, how you have to... It's the intent behind them. You have to actually mean it for the spell to work, that they require, say, put it like life energy.
Okay.
So you have to put like some kind of like. Energy.
So he meant it in Book 4, but didn't mean it in Book 7?
No, it's not where I'm going. But like they also say that like it would be blood magic, kind of deal. Like something like your magic.
They're making things up. There's no blood magic. I never heard of blood magic.
I made that. Like
okay.
They describe something that's essentially like your my magic is running through your blood.
Right, but see here
because it's running still in Voldemort.
But it was running through him in Book 4. It was running through him in Book 4, is my point. But Crucio held on Harry. And I'm pretty sure Avada Kedavra would have killed him. Maybe not, but Crucio held. But then, all of a sudden, in Book 7, when First of all, Avada Kedavra didn't work.
Instead of kill him. Because I think the thing was, you cannot die with the protection. Doesn't mean you can't be tortured.
No, but when the school has the protection, the same protection Harry has from Harry, none of his spells could hold on them. Because the whole thing was Lily's blood still ran, Harry's blood still ran through him for the people. So because of that, the protection held. But he could do it in Book 4 because Lily's blood still ran through him, so the protection would still hold. Where did it change? When did it switch hands?
Right, I'm assuming that it, kind of like I was explaining earlier, that like he's giving up his portion of like the protection that his mom gave him, and then like because it still runs through Voldemort, that's why he can't die. Like,
but he would have died then.
If you're assuming that it's a Horcrux, that like he's Voldemort.
It's not a Horcrux. Sorry, I can't do that. But go ahead.
I'm saying,
I just can't jump on board with that. But
I understand, but I'm saying like assume that it works similarly to a Horcrux. If there's still a piece of you left, whether it be your blood or something that exists, then you technically can't die.
Okay, so see, this is why it's confusing. It's such a stretch. So you're saying, I get what you're saying.
No, I understand.
You're saying, first of all, I've never heard of you being able to give up this protection because it runs in your blood. I didn't know you could just be like, I don't want it no more. Let it go. But you're saying Harry gave up the protection, but it's in Book 4 by Voldemort taking his blood and all that stuff. He gave up the protection. Mm-hmm. That's why Crucio could hold. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. Then in Book 7, because the Harry's blood, it's in Harry's blood, the protection. So because his blood runs in Voldemort and he didn't give that up or whatever, it still holds, and that's why you couldn't kill Harry. That's what they're saying, yes? Because Harry's blood with the protection runs in Voldemort.
Dies, but because it's working like a Horcrux.
He doesn't die. He doesn't die. 0% chance he dies for two reasons. One, if he dies, his physical body, as we see with with Voldemort, is no longer available to be taken. It's gone. His original body. just like Voldemort's. Number 2, there's no way to come back from death. 0%. Voldemort doesn't die either. His physical body dies. His soul remains. But your soul and your physical body cannot. If it could, he would have. Why did Voldemort just go to? That's the thing. Is something I read. Is you don't use a Horcrux. You have a Horcrux. Your soul is alive. You can't just possess a body and animate it. You have to have it made up for. You have to be infused into the body. So how? Okay. First of all, these people are not J.K. Rowling, so I don't really care what they say. Where am I reading?
Oh, I just wanted you to read a little bit of it. But we can.
Sorry, you just tell me. I don't want to read it right now.
It's essentially what I was doing, but they explained it a little bit better than I'm explaining.
Right, but what? Like, am I wrong? Am I explaining it wrong?
No.
Okay, so that's why I'm asking you. What do you mean? So let me run through it.
No, because I feel like I'm not doing.
Right, in book 4, but this is your opinion. That's why I'm asking. I don't care about them. I care about your opinion. In book 4, he takes Harry's blood.
Yeah.
So at that point, Harry gives up the protection. In a sense, he's saying he gives up protection because Crucio holds.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, but Crucio wasn't meant to
But
as far as I understand
but in book 7,
the
protection doesn't hold against the school because Harry sacrificed himself. So I'm making that comparison. And technically, if that's how it is in book 7, that's how it should be in book 4 if he's got the protection. The protection breaks spells. Go ahead.
Can I point out 2 things? First, we know that Lily and Harry are related by
I don't think that matters.
Assume that, the magic, the thing that I was talking about, that you're using your set, that it runs through his blood. Because it's Lily's blood, it runs through him.
Okay.
Right? So that would be a stronger connection than, say, if I sacrifice myself for you, because we're not technically related.
I don't like that for 2 reasons. One, nowhere it doesn't specify that anywhere. They're all with a magic blood. It doesn't specify anywhere. Number 2, love is love. It doesn't say because they're relative. It says because she loved him unconditionally and gave her life up for him. She sacrificed herself to try to save him.
Do we know that,
he sacrificed himself to save those wizards. Because if he didn't, Voldemort would have killed them all. That's why he went into the woods and sacrificed himself.
Yeah, but does he love them unconditionally? The intent,
yes. He proved that by sacrificing himself for them. If he didn't love them unconditionally, he wouldn't have died to save them. Why would you kill yourself to save somebody you don't love unconditionally? Okay, unconditionally is not the right word because that's not how it works. That you love, that you sacrifice, you jump in front of a bullet for very few people. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He jumped in front of a bullet for these people. He obviously loves them. Is my point. Okay.
Yeah.
So fine. I guess if you want to do the blood thing, then it doesn't. I'll try to play with that. But I don't think that matters. The fact that they're the same blood and it's her son. They both did the same thing and they both had the same effect.
I guess what I'm trying to say is differentiate kind of how Crucio works, where it's an intent-based spell.
Right.
The fact that that's familiar love or family love, and then
I feel like they were just stretching so hard here. We're literally. I feel like we're stretching and making things up to find it though, because nowhere I'm using straight facts from the book. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to stick to actual things that we know. Nowhere, unless you can find it, nowhere does it say that being a family member means that your connection is more powerful.
No, they never outrightly state it because magic that hasn't is not very well understood. Even Dumbledore, he struggles to understand it. He just knows that it exists.
Right, exactly. So that's what I'm saying, though.
So we don't know
in your theory. So let me use your theory. Let me just play in your theory for a minute. You're saying Crucio works, or I guess you say Crucio doesn't matter because
you're not going for a kill.
Yeah, but I still don't like that.
Which because they actually say in the book that it protects you from that person killing you. It says nothing about them torturing you.
But I'm using what they did in the 7th book. That's the thing. I'm using what she wrote into the 7th book and made part of that book. So with the same thing, because you're made to believe, and nowhere does it say otherwise, that it's the same protecting that school. He's protected. They are all protected against Voldemort. So anyways, but using yours, Crucio is not a killing spell, so it doesn't count.
Right.
Okay, so we're cutting out the 7th book for a minute because of that. So you're saying then, with that said, when he took Harry's blood, he basically counteracted the protection. Like, Harry no longer has the protection against him. Is what you're saying.
In his own body, yeah.
Okay. So if Voldemort tried to kill him right then and there, technically, he wouldn't have died because of the reason I'm going to explain. But in theory, like if right then and there, if Voldemort, I guess it's hard to say because it's like a transfusion. But so right then and there, Voldemort tried to kill him, he doesn't die. Not because he doesn't have protection in him though. Because jump to the 7th book, we find out he can't kill him because the protection in Harry's blood is now in Voldemort.
That's what I was trying to say earlier.
No, I know. I get that. I agree with that.
That's why Harry couldn't die.
Which I hate because I think it's so stupid. But first of all, Voldemort's also affected by it, which doesn't make sense. Because he's never been affected by a Horcrux, especially the weakest Horcrux being killed. Well, the second weakest Horcrux being destroyed. He falls down in it. He falls down and he like loses all of his everything. He loses full control for a minute. So, first of all, why is he affected? Because there's no explanation then. There's zero explanation.
The only thing I can find, like, in my head to justify that, not that I'm justifying, but if I had to like, come up with a reason to justify it, it's like, you, like, feeling hopelessness. Because, like, he knows if anybody gets a killing shot on him, he has no protections. Legit, he has nothing.
So, who would you mean? No, he had one more Horcrux, though. Nagini.
I thought wasn't it Nagini that when...
Nope, that was after Harry came back. After Harry... Nagini was the last Horcrux destroyed. So the two arguments made are... The only three arguments I can think of you making for that is that Harry was such a powerful Horcrux that it hurt. It's not true. He was the second weakest Horcrux. That Voldemort felt, like you said, felt weak because he knew there's nothing else to protect him. It's not true because he still had Nagini. Or that all the Horcruxes were destroyed and it was like a big wave over his real soul. But it's not true because there still is Nagini. So there's no reason that he should have had that. My other second argument as to why it doesn't make sense is in the first book, the very first chapter of the first book. Not the first chapter, but the very first thing they learned about Voldemort is they killed Harry's parents. When he tried to kill Harry, the spell, the love, deflected Avada Kedavra and it killed Voldemort. If the spell protected Harry the second time, why did it not deflect and kill Voldemort? Why did it have a different effect if it had the same outcome? If it still saved Harry's life, why did it not deflect the spell?
Like when he throws the second killing curse?
Yes.
Because he willingly... He's
but I don't
willingly giving up his own life.
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't kill Harry. Same outcome. Harry survives it because of the protection of love. Why does it have a different... Why does it act differently? Why does it not deflect this time and kill Voldemort? That's the thing I will never understand. Why does it act differently in the same scenario? Because it's the same scenario. You gotta think of it this way. Harry didn't have the protection of love on him until Voldemort tried to kill him. In a sense.
Or when he went for the intent to kill, that's when the spell, the sacrifice activated.
I've always thought of it like this. Once Lily sacrificed her love for him, a boundary went around Harry. It wasn't in his blood yet. This is how I thought about it. This is all theorized on my headcanon. The bubble went around him. When he tried to kill him, the bubble bursted, but it bounced the spell off and hit Voldemort, okay? And the blood went inside of Harry. Why would it not have the same effect? Why would that bubble not bounce it off of the bubble back at Voldemort?
The person that has the bubble is willingly accepting.
I don't think that matters. Why would that matter, though? Because if he did, okay, but then I argue this. If he's willingly sacrificing himself and the love doesn't bounce it back, why does it then protect him if he's trying to die?
Unless it's not the love that protects him, it's the fact
but
that
that's
he's
what
a
it
Horcrux.
said. No, but that's what it said.
We've talked about Horcruxes before where, like, why did Nagini die the way she did, but Harry doesn't? And we said, like, when...
Well, we're saying, like, yeah, like the spell, like the Horcrux ate the spell.
Right. Well, in Nagini's case, she gets her head cut off. So, like, even if she came back, she dies immediately.
Right.
As soon as she comes back, because, like...
Right, and that's the problem, though. I don't want to get into that, because, I mean, that's a whole different subject, and that has nothing to do with what we're talking about at the moment, because we don't have time to talk about that. That is changing the meta. I'm talking about the way it's supposed to be right now. Okay. We're talking about the power of love, and why would it have a different effect. Okay, which we're not even supposed to be talking about Horcruxes anyway. Getting back into Horcruxes, though. Tying it back in.
Well, it's the reason we talk
right, because the power of love is the alternative Horcrux.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so the Horcrux, though, the reason I don't like your theory, the couple different reasons I don't like your theory, for the theory, not yours, but the theory, that Horcrux is, that the power of love is the the whatever you said.
It's not like the
the good Horcrux or something like that. It's because, one, you can't use it on will. Like, you can't make multiple where they protect you, where they protect your soul. It just keeps you from dying. A Horcrux it does keep your soul from dying, but you're still, like, they have different effects. One, and then the Horcrux, your body's gone. You have to, like, do all this magic and everything to get it back. The other one, it just keeps your body from dying.
Well, it doesn't keep you. It keeps whoever you protect. Because you have
you know what I mean?
You have to
No. If you have it in you, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about if you have it in you. Number two, you can make a Horcrux. You can't make the power of love. You can't intentionally protect somebody with the power of love. Because the whole point is to die for them without any cause. Without any meaning behind it. You give yourself up to save somebody else.
So it's the unintentional Horcrux.
Yeah.
In that sense. Like, if we're
not even, though, because you can't...
I'm saying, like, if we took it as a Horcrux, it would be like, one is intentionally made and one is unintentional. You can
die. My third thing, though, you can die. You can die with the power of love, just not from the person who it protects you against. A Horcrux, you can't die from anybody. Like, nobody can kill you. Unless they destroy the Horcrux first. Right, that's another thing. Is you can destroy a Horcrux, but you cannot destroy the love. And we've already learned that from Voldemort trying. There's no way to get rid of it. He's protected against Voldemort forever. Somebody else can kill him, but you can't cancel out that power of love so that Voldemort can kill him. We've already proven that by it not working. Yeah. So I'm saying, like, that's why I'm saying I think it's not so much a alternative to a Horcrux. It's just another way to protect you. For someone to be protected from death from a certain person. A Horcrux is like it's the same idea behind a Horcrux, but a Horcrux is a thing. This isn't a thing like that. This is the meanings might be similar, but
I guess then the Horcrux would be whoever receives the protection would be technically.
No, I know. I'm saying that, but it's not even similar. It doesn't really protect you from death. It just protects somebody from killing you, in a sense. It doesn't protect you from death. You can still die anyway, any shape, anyhow. Voldemort can't fall down a flight of stairs and die. His body can die. His soul will live on. If you fall down a flight of stairs, you can break your neck and die, even if you have the power of love inside of you. You get what I'm saying? That's why I don't like it being compared to that, because technically fine. It's a Horcrux if you compare it against one specific person, but if that person dies, you no longer have a Horcrux because you are no longer protected from death, from anybody or anything. Because the only person that you're protected against is no longer living. But I like the theory. I do like it. I do respect it. I'm just saying, like, it's...
Well, that's what intrigued me, is I was like...
It's a good thought, and it's as close as you're going to get.
Yeah, that's why I liked it. I was like, this is about as close as I can, like... good enough. And granted, it requires you, the person who's making, quote unquote, the Horcrux, to sacrifice yourself to create something, but you no longer exist. The Horcrux you create does its own thing by itself. So, like, about the best you can do is live in their memory. So it's not nearly as, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, with regular Horcruxes that were, like, traditional Horcruxes that we're thinking, like, the only way that somebody could defeat you is to destroy destroy the containers of your soul.
Yeah. But
with the love thing, and like you said, anybody could kill you. Except for the person that it's intended.
Right. And actually, you know what? Let me phrase it this way, actually. Let's think of it in a different light, and then we'll move on. Because I actually had a thought. The power of love is not a Horcrux in any way, shape, or form. Any way, shape, or form. A Horcrux is a container. That's it. A container of a soul. A Horcrux does not save you.
So we've been more arguing like
how... The meaning behind it, which is what I've been saying. The meaning behind it.
Like the way to create...
What a Horcrux does for you. But a Horcrux itself...
is the actual...
doesn't really protect you from anything. It's just the fact that...
Which means you're all living in Horcruxes.
Yeah, I guess. We all have a Horcrux.
But that's a different topic for a different time.
Yes.
An interesting topic, though.
Right. So I have one last little thing. Let's move on here.
Sorry, I've been...
I hope you guys enjoyed that little thing, but...
Sorry, I've been gobbling up all the time.
No, it's okay. I liked that. It was good. But I want to go into one more thing real quick. Two things real quick, and then we're going to wrap it up. One, I just want to point this out because I just learned this, that I don't want to get into this too much, but I just thought it was interesting. Do you or do you not blame Hermione for this? They could have destroyed a Horcrux the entire time they were looking for the sword. Do you know how?
The Fiendfire.
Yep. Yeah. She knew Fiendfire destroyed Horcruxes. Yet, she didn't even tell Harry and Ron. Do you think she's right, or do you think she's wrong for not telling Harry and Ron? Even mentioning it, like, hey, look, I don't think this is a good idea, but there is a way to destroy Horcruxes.
I think the reason she held back is because in that moment, like...
Well, she knew she held on to this for a long time. She knew that way back in book 6 when she stole the book.
Right. Knowing...
From Dumbledore's office.
Knowing Harry and Ron's personality, I don't know if I would react nearly the same as Hermione, but like knowing that like they might end up like Crabbe. I think it was Crabbe, right? That dies.
Yes.
Who does the curse?
Unless you watch the movie, then that's Goyle. But
right, who ends up accidentally killing himself because he can't control it. So I think her fear was like,
no, I get that.
Unless it's her and she's not confident in her ability to control it.
But let me throw you a curveball here. You tell them about it. Neither of them know how to perform it. What does it hurt? They don't know how to do Fiendfire. They're
unless telling them about it, like
where are they going to find out about it though? Really, like you know what I mean? To
understand it, you would have to know how it's performed.
Right, exactly. Well, I mean, she would say, "Hey, there's a spell called Fiendfire. It's very dangerous. I don't recommend it, but it does kill Horcruxes in case all else fails. I get killed, and you guys can know about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I'm not going to teach you, or I don't know how to perform it. I'm not going to teach you. But it's something that's good to know later on in case I don't make it out of this. I'm just saying. Do you think she's right? Or do you think she's wrong? I'm just curious.
Because
I think she's wrong. I think she should at least told them. They're adults.
I agree that like maybe she should have told them, but like we were talking in a limited capacity, only because nothing against Harry and Ron, but like their capacity to like think like, oh, this could actually...
At least tell Harry. I mean, he's the one fighting Horcruxes. You're holding back information here as bad as Dumbledore holding back information at this point.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying, like, limit it, like, tell him about the spell, but, like, don't tell him how it works.
Well, no, I don't even know if she knows how it works. I'm just saying, you know.
Because, like, I feel like...
Like I said, tell him exactly what I said. Look, I don't know how it works, and it's very dangerous. I wouldn't recommend it, but if all else fails, there is a spell called Fiendfire. It will destroy Horcruxes. Yeah, but it can kill everybody around you, including yourself, in the process.
Right. If she worded it like that, I could, like, then I fault her for not telling them.
I mean, she could have. I don't know. She could have. But yeah, I get you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just learned. I mean, I knew that, I guess, but I just relearned that was a thing.
Oh, was that off of what I think it was off of?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah.
Because that sounded really familiar, and I was like, wait. Yeah,
I was curious about it. But anyway, so the other thing I wanted to do that's kind of a fun thing for the last, like, 7-ish minutes. So, we've talked about Horcruxes a lot. We've talked about them being good and used in a good way. We've talked about them being used in a bad way. We've talked about alternatives to them. So let's talk about this guy. I want you to think of one object that you would make into a Horcrux and what one protective measure you would use to guard it. And I haven't even thought of this myself, so I'm going to think as well. But I'm going to talk, I think. I'm going to think out loud. So, you go ahead and think. I'm going to think out loud. So, I would say probably something I would make into a Horcrux. Probably... Oh, that's a tough one. Something that's close to me, but something that's not so... It's got to be specific enough for me to remember it. but not so specific that it stands out. I would make one shoe a Horcrux. Because I would be able to remember which pair, but there's 2 of them, and there's a lot of different shoes. And I think, as far as protective measures to guard it, honestly, I wouldn't use any spells to guard it. If there's an Accio charm, I'd use that. I would literally bury it 20 feet underground in the middle of nowhere.
In the act of making a Horcrux, it kind of like comes with its own backup spells.
No, I'm talking about like in the cave, like how he put it in the cave.
Oh, yeah.
I would just bury it in the middle of some forest, and I would have it somewhere. I would have oh god, it's hard. I would have a map ripped into 4 pieces, spread out behind my.
I have 2 ideas. Only because they're hard.
And I'm thinking as Voldemort here, if I'm Voldemort, because obviously I'm not magic, so none of this would make sense in my life. But let's say behind the house, the Riddle house, the one you didn't destroy, behind that, in the backyard, I'd have 4 different pieces of a map, a map ripped into 4 pieces, buried in different corners of the yard. So that way I could put the corners together, and it would tell me exactly where the city, and then it would show the location of where I buried this thing, and I would know it's 20 feet underground, so I could go dig it up if I need to.
Not a bad idea. I do see
I would
some
use no magic,
because
because I think they're going to look for magic traces. Magic leaves traces, so.
The only things I can find fault with is, like, if you bury them all in the same location.
Yeah.
But the problem is
you have to remember, too, though. That's the thing, is you have to remember everything, too. 30 years later, possibly.
Yeah. No, I understand that, but I'm saying, in terms of,
yes, there's fault. I don't think there's no way to not fault it, but yeah. Yeah, I think yours is fault-proof in a way, but we'll see. But no, yes, but also who's going to think to look in 4 different corners for a map, but then the map also leads to a destination that only I might remember. And then I know I'm not going to put that 20 feet underground. I'll know that, so I'll be 20 feet underground. I'm not going to mark the exact location, but I'll mark the area it's in.
Mine actually...
And what it is, too. So go ahead.
The 2 that I have, because I came up with 2, because they're similar. They're both liquids. 1, if it can be done.
Oh, God, here we go.
If it can be done, a drop of blood.
Oh, God, I don't...
Because then, assuming that it gets transferred to somebody else, it can never be found.
Trevor, man.
Granted, I can't know where it is, but then
right, there's the flaw, though. It's pointless. It's pointless. It's a flaw. You can't... Blood, though, it's so easy to be destroyed.
I'm saying a drop of blood.
I don't...
That keeps transferring person to person.
I'm not even going to argue with you about it, because I don't want to waste the time, but it's got to be a physical, soluble object. Is that the right word? Soluble? Malleable object.
You're talking about like a solid object.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would think. I don't think you can make a drop of blood. It would probably transfuse the atom into a Horcrux.
Well, you could probably use the cell, or a bunch of cells in blood.
One cell. I don't think. That's the thing, though. I think it's too small. I think that'd be something that. Think of a soul being like the soul can't be bigger than the object that's going.
The other one is either a puddle or some body of water.
See, I would say no, because the malleable object it would be infusing into is not. It's made up of multiple malleable objects. I guess so is a solid piece, but...
If I could turn the whole lake itself...
But then what if... Okay, well, let's say you make it into...
If it evaporates, I go to the sky. I haven't died yet.
Oh my god. This is extreme. This is my own fault for trying to be realistic. With you. But come on. Okay, think of it... Fine. Let's use your theory. Think of it this way. A pencil. I use a pencil right here. It is a solid object... It could break in half, but so could a locket.
Fine. You want a solid object?
But I'm saying, hold on. Solid object.
I'll give you a solid
but let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It could break in half, but so could a locket. So it's probably got, once it infused with Horcrux, it's stronger. But it's stronger because the clump is together. So now either one of 2 things happens. Your theory, the object clumps together and becomes a solid object. So it's no longer a puddle. It's a solid piece of water. because they clump them together to make them impenetrable.
Like a bubble of water.
Yeah, to make them more to make them unbreakable, because you can't break the. Think about them trying to break the locket, it didn't work. If the locket's breakable.
Yeah.
Obviously, it made it stronger, unbreakable, and impenetrable without the use of one of the ways of killing it. So either that happens, or because they're liquid and they spread apart, the atoms spread apart, which rips the Horcrux apart inside of it and destroys the Horcrux. Or the soul apart inside of it and destroys the soul. I would say one of those two options is probably what would happen.
See, at least with the blood, if I take blood cells and just infuse them with my soul, then I have a better.
But it'd probably still be a solid piece.
Yeah.
So then you can't infuse a solid blood piece into somebody. They'll clot their blood. So I'm not trying to defuse you. I'm just saying, if you want to come up with stupid ideas.
Okay. Granted, they're a little far-fetched, but if you can
little.
Okay, if
he says a little.
If you can get them to work, literally any rule that normally applies to a Horcrux does not apply to it. It's a liquid, so
I don't.
The blood.
I don't even want to have this conversation. Go to your next one.
I
think this is the most pointless conversation me and you have ever had in our entire lives.
The next one would be, and I don't remember where they're at, but there's a forest that's all one organism, and it continually grows. I would infuse my soul into one of those trees, or the system itself. It turns the whole tree, the whole system solid or whatever. But then I am the tree, and the tree is me. So you'd have to cut down all the trees.
No, not true. When the book is a Horcrux, you only got to stab the part of the book to kill the whole Horcrux in it.
Well, he had to stab through the
whole
thing.
Okay, when you're the locket, he doesn't stab through both ends of the locket. He opens the lockets up and he stabs the bottom part, but still destroys the Horcrux, even though he didn't destroy the whole thing. I think you only got to destroy part of the Horcrux to destroy the soul within it. I think that's been proven. The cup. He doesn't stab each piece of that cup.
Can I use... I was about to swear. Thank God I didn't. Can I use dirt?
No, why could you use dirt? I would say nothing that... Okay, dirt's not a liquid, but it's also... I think you can use whatever you want. I think it would clump together and then make a solid object.
Wait, I got it.
Oh my God.
Earthworm.
Earthworm?
Yeah, because you can split an earthworm and it's still...
But it's a living... But it's the worst Horcrux to make because it's living. It dies and your Horcrux dies.
But the thing can split itself.
Okay, but it dies and the soul dies inside of it.
No, well you can cut an earthworm in half and it's both...
It still dies though.
How does it die? It becomes
natural causes.
No,
it's a living thing. Things don't live forever.
It becomes two things.
Yeah, but eventually, if each piece of that is going to die, and then your soul is gone.
But the chances of that,
I'm looking up life of an earthworm right now. I'm looking up life of an earthworm because I hate when you come up with these theories.
Okay,
I love proving them wrong because they don't make sense.
Listeners, hear me out. Those are great ideas, right? Yeah.
They can live up to 20. 6 to 9 years, it can live up to 20. So you got 20 solid years before your soul's dead.
Yeah, but that gives me... think about how long it took him to get his body back.
You're going to tell me, don't argue me because you're wrong if you argue me. You see an earthworm on your floor and you take your shoe and you stomp on it full out and kill it. It's dead. It is not pieces coming back to life. It is dead. You've killed every piece of it. That's how easy it gets run over by a car, the whole thing, before it splits. The whole thing is dead. There goes your soul. That easy. Guys.
Okay, so you want me to
Thanks for listening. What?
You want me to choose a truly solid object.
No, I'm happy with what you chose. I'm happy that we got to argue about it. You don't have to come up with another one unless you want to. But we do got to think about that. I do want to start wrapping up, though. We didn't even go into what definition of Horcrux is or nothing, but oh well.
Was the creator.
Yeah, Herpo the Foul was the only other known creator of Horcrux.
Interesting.
We didn't go over definitions for Horcrux, but hopefully you know what one is, or none of this makes sense to you, and sorry. Look it up.
Question.
Yeah.
Do we know Herpo the Foul? Did he actually die?
Okay, don't talk to me.
Did he die?
I did look it up. We don't know. We're assuming. I did look it up. There was no information on it.
So he did only create one. that we know.
Yeah, we did look. I did look it up. There's no information on it.
Nothing against Voldemort.
He's not alive now. I can tell you that. He did die.
Everything against Voldemort, but like...
he probably made it into like his wife or something. His wife passed away and he died because he's an idiot.
Voldemort's an idiot. Because he split his soul 7 times.
Yeah.
And every time,
the
amount of soul left to split.
I mean, anyone that splits their soul is really an idiot in reality because, Wait, do I hear
a admission that like creating a Horcrux is a stupid idea?
It is a stupid idea. I didn't say it can't be used for good, but it's a stupid idea. It is.
Yes!
What? It is a stupid idea. So a lot of things that people do for the quote unquote good side is stupid.
The greater good.
For the greater good. All right, guys. And for the greater good, we're gonna let you guys get back to your lives. That's all we got for this week, guys. We appreciate all you guys listening.
Do we want to talk about upcoming?
Of course, we're gonna talk about upcoming. I'm just ending the segment.
Oh, sorry. I keep interrupting.
Trevor is way too excited about our next episode. Actually, I have a really cool name for it. I'm going to keep hidden. I was going to look it up. I'm going to keep it hidden. It's really cool. This does not look good.
It's not.
But I'll tell you what it's about. It's about Mad-Eye Moody. It's about Barty Crouch Jr. And it's about them together. And no, we're not shipping them either. No, I'm saying the differences... Their similarities. And question for you, Trevor. Was Barty Crouch Jr. really evil in the end? Don't answer that question because it's rhetorical. But we'll answer that question next week, guys, when we talk about it.
Oh, come on.
Until then, though, guys, we are... Well, guys, let's have a chat, okay? We are on a lot of different programs, okay? We're on what, Trevor? iTunes, Spotify.
Facebook. You have our actual website.
Well, you killed it. The website's the last thing you say. Come on. We have Facebook, iTunes, Twitter, Spotify, Podbean, Stitcher, Castbox, YouTube, so on and so forth. But, Trevor, now where can they find all of those so that they don't have to remember any one of those?
www.hedwigsarmy.com.
Yes, go there, guys. Go there. You can... The front page, if you want to say, guys, your podcast is the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my entire life, you can tell us that right on the front page because there's a comment box right on there. You can submit episode ideas that you would like to hear. You can give us your feedback and opinions during our episodes. You can give us our feedback and opinions on our podcast.
If you hate our voice and you want to be like, hey, yeah, you guys sound terrible. Or if you guys want to
we
be
don't care. We don't want to hear it. Thanks.
You guys sound amazing. Would love that.
Right, yeah. We are down to one mic. Our audio quality is not
nearly as
where
good
we
as
want it to be.
Yeah.
The second mic took a dump. Don't know why. It's just not sounding good. So we are down to one mic currently.
It was a Horcrux and we destroyed it.
And we destroyed it. It destroyed itself. Can Horcruxes destroy themselves? Let's not talk about it.
Harry.
So,
all I'm gonna say.
Shiz. Got him, shiz. Okay. Anyways, guys. Make sure to go on there and let us know. We have an email, hedwigsarmypodcast@yahoo.com. You can go to the contact page, find different ways. If you want to learn more about us, you can go to the about or whatever. It's not called about. It's called something else. I wish I knew what it was because it's my website, but it's something like that.
Oh.
Okay. Oh, sorry. It's our website. I meant like, okay. I didn't mean only mine, but it's our website. So I should know it, but it's like the about section. You can learn more about us.
Yeah,
and more about the podcast a little bit, you know.
Figure out a little bit.
And then we have an upcoming section where we're gonna post like 2 to 3 upcoming episodes. We're gonna try to start doing more, but some of them that we want to do are going to be really
intense. Complex.
Yeah, and we're gonna do some research. So we don't know when we'll get those out. Unfortunately, that's like half of the stuff that we try to come up with. So we're gonna do some research and coming up with more weekly episodes. We're going to try and hopefully get like 4 to 5 up there at a time.
I mean, we do have the 2 for right now.
Yes,
one we obviously hinted at. And
the other one is we're taking a little bit of Fred and George approach on that one, I guess you should say.
Oh, that's great.
We're going to be talking about education and whether it's necessary or not. What do people do when they drop out of Hogwarts besides run a joke shop and, save the wizarding world? There's got to be other things. We're going to discuss them and our thoughts and opinions on them. And maybe you'll even find out what we would do if we dropped out of Hogwarts at year 3. I mean 5. I mean 7.
Well, we have a couple weeks to think about that.
We do?
One.
But we don't have this week because we are done. Guys, thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell anyone that enjoys Harry Potter to check out Hedwig's Army. And let us know by either commenting or rating or reviewing on iTunes. That would super much help. Or emailing us. Like I had said, I'll stop reiterating everything. Just go to hedwigsarmy.com to learn more. Until next week, guys. As always, mischief managed.
Every great wizard in history has started out as nothing more than what we are now. Students. If they can do it, why not us?